Hi, this is the video for the Advanced Hardware Design final project. The group name is Processor 51 and these are the team members. Now Processor 51 is a 32-bit processor designed using VHDL. The block diagram of Processor 51 can be seen here. So these are the various components of Processor 51. We will start with the program counter. The program counter is a 32-bit register which stores the location of the next instruction to be executed. So it points to the instruction memory. The program counter keeps on incrementing by 1 until the halt instruction arrives. Once it arrives, the system freezes and the program counter won't increment. The instruction memory acquires the address from the program counter and then gives the output as the instruction. Now this 32-bit instruction contains the information of the type of the operation and also the location of the register. The instruction memory that we have designed is of 2 KB. So it is an array which consists of 512 elements. The instruction is then an input to the decoder and the register file. So the 32-bit instruction is an input to the decoder and the decoder decides the type of the instructions that need to be executed. The decoder determines the type of the operations that the ALU will perform and the other flags that will determine if it is a jump instruction, branch instruction, halt instruction, store, load, or is it an I-type instruction. So various operations will be performed according to what the output decoder gives. The register file takes the input from the instruction in which it specifies what register addresses are to be read and what address do we need to write in. So after we identify the read and the write registers, the data is read from the read registers and that is an input to the ALU. See, so various operands which are obtained come from the registers or they are the immediate values. So these are the various operations that are performed by the ALU and then the result is again stored back to the register. So during that time the write register is used and we are having the input of a 32-bit data and storing it in a register. This is how we have implemented the various instructions in the ALU. So if the is load from the decoder is high, we get the data from the data memory into the register file. If the store is high, we obtain the data from the register file and store it into the data memory. So this was the basic working of the block diagram of processor 51. This is the instruction set architecture that we have used for an R-type instruction, source, target and destination. That is, these two are the operands on which the operation is performed and then stored into the destination register. Now for an I-type instruction, this is the source and this is the destination and we take the immediate value which is again stored into the destination 2. For J-type instruction, this is the operation and then we have the address. So that is the format in which we have written the assembly code. Now I will explain you the working of RC5 using the assembly code. We have done the encryption, decryption and the round key generation separately, as well as we have the entire consolidated RC file. The user key was first stored in 0 to 3 locations of the data memory. The S key initialized was stored from 10 to 35 of the data memory. Now we have again stored those values into the locations of different data memory so that we can have the original values if we want to reuse them again. So this is the initialization of all the elements. We already know how the RC5 works. So first, while performing encryption, decryption or round key generation, we initialize the counters and set the maximum value for the counters. Then as we know, we have to perform the XOR operation, and which was not provided. So we have used the AND, NOR and the OR operation to perform the entire XOR operation. That is, we use A and not B plus B and not A. So the other problem that we faced was, instead of the rotate operation, we were given the shift operation. So we cannot directly rotate the bits that we want, and so it was a bit difficult, but we cracked it. So first, if we want to rotate the amount to the left for our bits, so what we do is shift left to R bits first, and then shift the same data to 32 minus R bits to the right, and then OR them. So whatever data we obtain is the left rotated amount by R bits. Similar thing can be done for the rotation right. We do the same thing. And for now, for the data dependent rotation, we needed only the last 5 bits. So what we do is we shift the entire amount by 27 bits, and then we shift the same data to the right by 27 bits. So whatever we get is the last 5 bits of whatever we need to rotate. Finally, the values are stored into the registers. Encryption, decryption and all the S key values can be seen through the register file on. So yeah, this is the implementation of processor 51 on the FPGA. So I have already loaded the bit file which has the instructions for the RC5 program. So I am resetting my system, and this is an active high clear. So now my system is reset. Now the clock has already run and we can see the output on the register files. So these 5 switches are used to access the register files. So the decryption output is saved on the first and the second register. So this is the first. These are the higher bits of the decryption output, and these are the lower bits of the decryption output. We can also see the initialized S key arrays which are stored from register 3. So this is third, then 4, 5, then 6, 7 and so on. So we can see the S key values as well. If you want to see the encryption value, so we can see it on registers 22 and 23. So this is 16, this is 20 and this is 22. So these are the higher bits of the encrypted value, and this is the lower bit. These are the lower bits. So we have obtained these values for the 0 user key and 0 as the DN. We have verified these values using the Ronald paper and the RC5 Golden model. We have a clock selector input which allows us to switch from the automatic clock to a manual clock so that we can see every cycle, so all the instructions being executed can be seen. So if I press this as 1, I can see my register values change at all instructions. So that's the point. Yeah. See? So I can see that. If I run the entire RC5, it might take 15,000 something cycles. So I'm not going to do that. I hope you can understand. Thank you.